The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey, Linda, can you hear me?
Tom, I can hear you. We
Oh,
are
good.
now connected, I believe.
Yeah, we're connected and we're live. So, all right. So today we're doing the roundup question and answer, everything you always wanted to know about the Money Smarts lead generation system um, that you wanted to know. We'll answer all of those questions. And Linda, why don't you explain how you can ask a question, and we'll then we'll cover a few things and maybe open up the floor for questions.
All right, sounds good, Tom. Welcome, everyone. Glad that you could make the meeting this afternoon. And as Tom said, we're really going to just try to focus on your questions and get the answers out to you to help you get started in this program. You could raise your hand. If you see on your control panel, there's a place to click for questions. If you see that and have a question, you're ready to ask a question, just click that little button. Otherwise, there's also a tab where you can ask a question, and you'll see a blank box where you can text a question, and it will come right through to us. So if anybody is ready with a question, please type it in or raise your hand. And if for some reason you can't see the place where you raise your hand, I think you would see the little box down on the right where you could type in a question. So please go ahead and do so. And at this moment, I don't see anybody popping up with a question, Tom. So what I could do is start with some of the questions that I received earlier on.
Okay.
Does that sound okay to you?
That's fine. Let's do that.
Okay. I think one of the questions I got from somebody, and they asked, just again, and I hate to just keep going over the same thing webinar after webinar, but somebody did ask, what is MoneySmarts, and what is the real benefit to me getting into this program and the benefit to my clients? Can you give us just a brief answer on that one, Tom?
Sure. Well, you are right. We do stress this, quite a lot, that, Money Smarts is for the financial advisor, is a lead generation system, and it is designed specifically to attract clients to your door, and I say that conversely to, where you typically have to go out and prospect and knock on doors or get referrals, etc. This, our lead generation system literally drives people to your office based on, advertising in local media outlets that you do throughout the year, to offer the service to the general public. And of course, you and I know, Linda, that from the success of our advisors, that when an advisor does what we tell them to do in the training for our program, that they are very successful people. They have clients that are driving, that are coming to their office, and then of course that makes more clients that are offering referrals that to other people they know, and of course that's how you that's how you build your business. Just like building a house, it's one brick at a time. So it's really all about lead generation, and we do that through a tax preparation, planning, and consulting service that is really a service that practically everyone needs, unless you're probably under the age of 18 and you have a part-time job or have never had a job. Then almost everybody, even retirees, has to file an income tax return, and everybody has an opportunity to pay less taxes than what they're currently paying. So that's the service. And of course, I think you could probably mention, we've narrowed this kind of down to 5 different things, five reasons that that financial advisors really want to use our service. And why don't you just list those off from our notes there?
I will do that, and they're actually excuse me, on our website, and I'm just going to copy what's there because we narrowed it down to 5. And the first one is to build your business, grow your business. We look at just that great opportunity to give your clients one-stop shopping. You know, you become their go-to person for all of their financial questions. And that is a big convenience in this day and age, and particularly, I think, for the demographics of the people that we work with. You know, a lot of them, you know, are becoming seniors, and whatever's easier is better, and what is old school. We want to keep the clients coming back for more reasons than just the first entry that you made with them. Maybe you sold them, you know, a life insurance policy or annuity. Now there's another reason for them to come back to you with the extra services that you can offer. And, you know, the whole benefit to offering the extra services, hopefully at the bottom line, is to build your business and add more products that you can sell them.
Yeah.
And number 4, I think, was pre-qualify your clients and prospects. And then number 5, which is so important and what it's all about, and really to keep a business going, is you're going to help your client achieve their financial goals, which is, you know, financial security, peace of mind, and retirement.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the 5 things that we targeted at one point. And I can't emphasize enough that, you know, this is something that benefits all of us, including, you know, the client. If it doesn't work for the client, it's not going to work for anybody. So,
right.
You know, we keep that in mind. We're here to service the client.
Yeah. You know,
I hope we answered the question.
Yeah, I think we did. You know, I'm reminded of a conversation I had recently with one of our advisors, you know, specifically one in Houston, Texas. And what she said to me was rather remarkable, I guess, in my mind, in that she said, you know, before I started using, you know, this service, she said, I used to have to make 2 sales for every client. And I said, I don't understand what you mean. And she said, well, I always had to sell the client on the idea, and then I had to sell the client's accountant or tax professional on the idea. And it was always more difficult, you know, to try and make 2 sales as opposed to just 1 sale. And I think that's very important in that, you know, when you're working with our team, you already have a CPA in your back office. You already have that when you're working with our team. So there's no need to lose control of the conversation. You know, when the client leaves your office, when you use our service, they know exactly what the recommendations are going to look like on their return. All their tax questions can be answered, and so they never have to take that conversation outside of your office. And I think that's I was really intrigued by that comment that she made, that, you know, said that, you know, I only have to make 1 sale instead of 2, and that's I think that's, you know, it's pretty telling. You know, that was really on point, I think. So
I think it's pretty smart, you know.
Yeah.
Smart use. Yeah. That's I do have a question that's popped up.
Okay.
So go ahead. You ready for a new one?
I'm ready for a new one. Go ahead.
Okay. The question is, I understand that there is a fee to join the group, but after we pay that fee, you know, what's it going to cost to have work done? Do you charge hourly or by the project? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's a great question. You know, beyond the fee, the enrollment fee to join our service, every project we do, with the exception of the second opinion report, which we can talk about in a moment, you know, all of our tax projects are really by the hour. And when you are a subscribing member of Money Smarts, you get discounted rates over our regular rates. Specifically, you get 10% off of our regular rate, which gives the advisor more room to mark up our service and, you know, defray the cost or eliminate the cost, you know, to their office for that enrollment fee. And, you know, doing, giving a specific number, that it takes to do, any kind of a tax return, and we do them all too, as you know. But we built into our control panel here that any advisor can ask for a fee quote. Okay, and I see I'm circling that on the screen right now. There's a fee quote and a max fee quote. So if there's a concern about, what this will cost, all an advisor has to do is, request a cabinet for an account for their client, and they can upload 2 years of tax returns. We'll look at those 2 years and we'll give you an estimate of what we think it's going to cost. And a fee quote brings a range, Linda, from a low to a high. In other words, and we tell you this in writing, we think this project is going to come in between this number and this number. And for most of our advisors, that's good enough, but some have asked, they use this max fee quote here, which again, we give the estimate in writing, and essentially we tell the advisor, no matter what, this project will not cost more than this number, the maximum number. And if we go over, if our hourly time charge would be more than that, they're going to get the benefit of, that lower quote. And very often, our projects come in less than what we quote, so you get the benefit of that, of that lesser amount. So you're never going to pay more on the max fee quote, and frequently you're going to pay less. So that's kind of a good feature to have. So if you do have some concerns, most times you can. It's pretty easy to estimate these kinds of things. If a client gives you maybe a dozen different 1099-Rs and K1 forms from various limited partnerships, and maybe they have rental property, and so the more sophisticated, the more volume of data that's there, you can kind of get a sense that's going to take longer to do that work, and it's likely going to be a higher number. But the if there's a concern on behalf of the advisor or the client, then we offer this this fee quote, max fee quote service, and of course there's no cost for that. So I think that makes it even better. Yeah.
Good answer, Tom. While you're right there on that page, move your arrow up to the second opinion request. I have a question on that.
The second opinion request, great.
Yeah. The question is, if I don't sign up for the annual subscription program, which I understand has a discount for the fee, what would it cost me to do or have you do, excuse me, I'm not reading correctly, have you do a second opinion report for me? I guess, and that's the question. I guess you'd have to do a guesstimate on it, because you don't know what it involves, Tom. I realize that, but that's the question. It sounds to me like he wants to know the comparison between the cost if you're a subscriber and a non-subscriber.
Oh yeah, well that's pretty significant. The second opinion report, I don't think I've seen one come in that we didn't have less than 2 hours, into the project. So, if we are charging, our regular hourly rates, and we, as we do work with some advisors that, prefer to do the pay-as-you-go thing, and most of these reports run between $300 and $500 to do. So, when you are a subscribing member to MoneySmarts and you subscribe at the $24.95, then you can request, you have an unlimited number of second opinion reports that you can request at the $49.95 price. And so it doesn't take you long to figure out, if I did, if I was prospecting and I sent in, 10, 10 second opinion reports, and I wasn't a subscribing member, and on the low side that cost me $300 per project, gosh, that's $3,000. That's more than the $24.95 that they were asking to do in the first place. So it wouldn't take you long to figure out, hey, there's a break even here, and it makes sense for me to to be a subscribing member. So it's kind of like I think of it like joining AAA. It might cost you $70 a year to belong to AAA, and you break down just once and you need a tow, right? I mean, everybody has this experience that, isn't that nice when you can pull that card out of your purse or your wallet and call that 800 number and say, I'm broke down on the side of the road, I need a tow, and that your membership in that group is going to cover the cost of that towing. So that's and that's peace of mind that you have no matter where you drive that vehicle in the United States. So I think of it a little bit like that.
Yeah, I'm chuckling, Tom, because I emailed, Googled actually, I'll say AAA this morning because it's supposed to be below zero the next couple of nights here. And I don't have a problem with my car, but it's for peace of mind. And I think it was $79. They'll tow me 200 miles or something. There's peace of mind. It's really.
I have that renewal on my desk back at at the office that I pay for the subscription or for the membership for both of my daughters and my wife and myself because I want that peace of mind to know that if my daughters are out there on the road and they break down, they can call that 800 number. So $79, isn't that worth just the price of one tow? One tow would cost you that much. So
right, and I like the comparison you did in regards to our second opinion report. What it would cost, and you would get your money back. You'd make money. Your clients, you could be doing them. If they had enough of them done for what the money involved, they could almost do them for free for clients where they thought there was some great potential to get some interesting data on the client and insight.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'm going to, I've got a couple of questions here, but since you mentioned the money back guarantee, just briefly, do you want to talk about that a little bit? I did have somebody pop up a question that wanted to know more information about the money back guarantee because it is new this year. You in a position to talk about that at this point?
Sure. We can talk about that. And I did pop something up on the screen here for attendees.
Good job.
They can go and click on this link, on our website. And we did. This is a new part of our service. This year is the money back guarantee. And, we are so confident in what we do and how we do it that, we have taken all of the risk for the financial advisor completely out of the process. So, that $24.95 comes with a money back guarantee that if you are not successful with our program, we're going to give you your money back. And there's only a few things that, of course, you need to do, to be able to qualify for the money back guarantee. And I'm very confident, that in all the years we've been doing this, we're going into our 11th year, Linda, as you know, of servicing, financial advisors through our the technology platform that only we have, by the way. And all you really have to do to qualify for the money back guarantee is you have to attend our training, and you have to follow our marketing action plan, and that's pretty simple. You have to use an approved ad, and of course, as you know, we have already developed like a dozen or so different prefabricated advertisements for your local newspaper, and you have to advertise a number of weeks throughout the year. There's a specific number that you have to advertise between January 1st and April 15th. And if you do that, if you do what we tell you to do, if you attend the training and you do the marketing like we tell you to do, that you are going to be amazingly successful with our program, and you're not gonna qualify for the money back guarantee. In fact, you're not going to want your money back because we helped you prospect so many new clients into your business in that year. So So it's pretty simple, and so you can see it's all laid out here on our website, and an individual can go and look at that and have some comfort, just like that AAA membership. Have some comfort to know that if it doesn't work out for me, if I do everything they tell me to do and I still don't have anything that comes of it, then I can get my money back, and that should make you sleep good at night in my mind. So that's really what it is in very simple terms. Is you can absolutely have your money back, and all you have to do is just do what we tell you to do: attend the training, follow the marketing program, and you're going to be wildly successful. And you're going to be ready to sign up again for the next year.
It's a simple formula that we've put together, and it's something that we've worked on, as you said, about 11 years now, and there are a lot of guys out there very successful, and I know some of the things that we've put in, the marketing and the action plan is based on what other people are doing for success. And as Tom mentioned, we have the pre-developed ad prints for you. We can customize them with your information, or you can just take them and have the information put in. But anything that is that you do on your own for marketing that involves this program, we do need to pre-approve, because we want to just make sure that the message is clear that you've partnered with a CPA firm or a national team of tax experts, that it doesn't come across in any way that it looks like the financial advisor is saying he prepares taxes. So we just need to approve anything that you do on your own, but we do have some that are all pre-approved, ready to be customized with your information. We have some flyers. We have an introductory letter too that a few people are using, because I've been asked, well, how do we introduce this to our clients? And so we put together a letter that you can send out to your clients or prospects. You can, put it on your own letterhead, do it in an email or whatever, and you can also use it kind of as a script when you're calling people to say, we're excited about these new services. It's going to be of great benefit to you, and I'm going to call you for an appointment, blah, blah, blah. So we do have a lot of tools for you to use. Just ask us. Once we have your subscription in hand, the tools are available for you immediately, and tax season is around the corner. I encourage you to get moving on it. And Tom, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take up the time.
That's okay.
I get excited about it. It's a great opportunity, and we have people that are doing such a nice job with it, and it's fun for me on my end, because I get to work with a lot of great people and help them move forward and help their clients. Are you ready for another question, or do you have anything to add to?
Well, I thought now would be a good time to just remind our attendees, if you would like to ask a question, personally, all you have to do is raise your hand, and we'll open your channel, and we can actually speak back and forth. So if you'd like to do that, on a personal level, all you have to do is just raise your hand using your control panel, and we'll open up the line and we'll chat, and I'll answer your question for you. So, all right, so back to whatever questions you already have there, Linda.
I do have, I have a couple more for sure. One of them, let's see, I'm just kind of, I don't know if there's any order to put them in at this point. How can we be sure that all the information is going to be kept secure? All this, that's the question, and I'm sure they're referring to uploading into the web portal and a secure website, etc. But yeah. The question was about security.
Yeah, well, that's a really good question. In light of all this controversy that we have, in the country right now after after the last presidential election, that this morning everything on the news was all about how the Russians have put their thumb on the scale to try and, favor Donald Trump in the elections. And we certainly hear lots of, issues about identity theft and, websites being hacked and, personal information being taken, et cetera. And, and it is a great concern. It's a great concern to all of us because the information that you provide to do your tax return is exactly the information that an identity thief needs to steal your identity. Your name, your address, your birth date, all of that stuff is in your tax information. And we do everything we can to keep that safe. Obviously, sending us information by email doesn't work. That's why we won't accept it. And we have a secure web portal that the security standards that with the company that we have partnered with, they exceed the guidelines required by the Treasury Department with regard to banks and other financial institutions as a minimum level of security, and our service exceeds that standard by as designated by the United States Treasury. So we've been doing this for 11 years, we're going into our 11th year, and in all that time we have never had any kind of problem with regard to the security of the data that we hold for clients. So I think that's alone is a great testament. But that the standard is exceeded, and the standard is set by the Treasury Department. So that's a great question. And as you know, throughout our training, we constantly reinforce, do not send information by email ever. And we even have built into our portal, Linda, in fact, I'll just pop over in case, because I can see a lot of names on this attendees. I see a lot of names I recognize as being, have looked at the system before. I can tell you, I know you're out there. You're constantly coming back to look at this, but over here in our web portal, we have a built-in secure email system. So if you really feel like there's some kind of a message that you want to convey, we have this already built into our web portal. So there's no need to use internet-based email. You can even send emails within our system and attach documents to it, and they are still uploaded securely to the portal. But the more important thing is use our portal the way it was intended to be used, to securely upload those documents, because not only do you get the security, but you also get the confidence that when you do it correctly, that our project control desk gets notified immediately that you've uploaded something, and it tells us who did it and where it is, and all we have to do is go and look for it, and then we know whether this is something we have to act on or do whatever for. So it's certainly one of the more sophisticated systems that is available today for secure web portals. So that's where we are with that one.
It's good. I have a question, Tom.
Okay.
Just thinking about the secure email portion of this. Does a message go to the control desk immediately when an email comes in, as well as some other type of document being uploaded?
Yeah, and the answer to that is no. The email system works a lot like an email system you would expect. Nobody ever gets their email until they log in, right? They have to go to their computer,
right,
or on their phone. They have to access their mail, and then they find out that somebody's sent them a message. So, but when you use our portal and when you upload, to the client's account, and of course we do a fair amount of training on this so that every advisor knows exactly how to do this. When you do it, to the correct folders, then we immediately get notified. But not when you're using the
right.
email system to do that. But that's a convenient way to sometimes, maybe you don't have a document that you want to upload, but you want to tell us, okay, this is the social security number that you asked for, or the birth date, or something like that that we've asked for, and you just want to send that in a message. Well, that's not secure if you do it through regular internet email, but you can come over to our web portal, and you can access your account, and you can send us an email through the web portal.
Yeah, that's really that's a really good extra little feature, because there's so many times that we have to reach out to the financial advisor asking, date of birth or social security number of the kids or something, that gets overlooked. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice way of sending that information securely.
Right.
Have you got any hands up, Tom, on your end? Because I got the message for I have a couple more questions that are texting, but do you have any other hands up?
Nobody. I'm really kind of surprised by this. Oh. Nobody has their hands up.
Well,
and like I said, I don't know. Maybe I see, like I said earlier, I see a lot of names that I recognize from having been on some of our other informational webinars that we've done over the last year. And so I see you guys out there. I see you circling back to take a look here. And it looks like, did you just see a question come through?
Well, I just got a note from one of the attendees. He asked if we'll be sending out a replay because he missed the first part due to a phone call.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, we are recording this, and so if it comes out, everything comes out as it's supposed to, yes, we will send out a notice, right, Tom, to get a replay?
Absolutely. In fact, we'll have that available, and I'll have to, as we do with most of our stuff, we'll upload it to our YouTube channel, and then you can send out an email to whoever requested it with a link, to that.
With a link.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yes. So if and again, Scott, I know you. Looks like you've tuned in late, and if you have any questions, there should be an icon on the screen where you can click on. Tom can unmute you, and you can talk, or you can continue to text me questions.
Yeah.
That's
I
good.
can see here, Scott. Scott says, "Thank you. Headed to Maine on Friday to free."
Yeah.
Scott, what's wrong with you? You're going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
As I'm going to disclose something right now.
Yeah, you fess up, Tom. You fess up right now.
I'm in Florida right now. I'm in Orlando, and I had to cut a golf game short today to be able to do this webinar. And it is beautiful here. It's 80 degrees, and it is just gorgeous. So I can't imagine, Scott, why you'd be heading north to Maine unless you wanted to freeze intentionally. But I know we had what do we have, about 8 inches of snow there? Oh, okay. He says he can't get relatives to move.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's the holidays. We have to make commitments sometimes. Yeah. So, that's good. And yes, it's supposed to be bitter cold this weekend, yes. And I didn't hear more about any more snow, but it's supposed to be bitter cold. And so I'm glad you fessed up that you're in Florida, because I'm sitting up here at your desk.
Yeah,
and
how are you?
It's cold. That's good.
I'm going to be headed back to the cold because on Saturday morning I have to fly to Philadelphia for a family wedding, and then of course I'll be headed back to freeze on Sunday. So
yeah,
it's all part of living in the North,
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
Let me get back to that screen. This is this is just a simple one. I'll hit that one first, and I'll read the other one. Does MoneySmarts prepare business and corporate returns, and what other tax services do they provide? Mm-hmm. So that's your baby, Tom.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. We do every conceivable federal and state form, that is available today. There's a few that we really just don't get called on to do, but we could, like there's a lot of things for federal highway use tax that are related to truckers that we just don't see, although we could do it. But we do absolutely every federal and state return there is. So we do corporations, partnerships, limited liability corporations and partnerships, individuals, trusts, fiduciaries, estates, gift tax. I mean, you name it, and our team can do it. So, and we do have, some of our we are expanding our CPA team this year, and some of our guys, one of our guys in particular, spent 20 years working with IRS, and he's a guy that we're going to go to and utilize for those people who are in serious trouble with IRS. They haven't filed for 10 years, they can't pay their taxes, that kind of thing. So so we're going to be even offering those kinds of services through through that new addition to our team. So that's kind of I haven't even put that on the coming attractions board yet, but that's
No,
I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I had made a little mental note of that too. That that's and I know this new the new addition. He's got this years of experience, but I'm going to just make a plug for you, Tom, because I hear you talking to the IRS. I know you're sitting in there oftentimes on hold with the IRS, and you have the expertise in that area as well. And I think having this other person come on, that we're really going to have a strong staff dealing with audits and representation and those serious tax issues that people have to deal with. And I will say, working here in the office, there's nothing more upsetting to anyone than getting a letter from the IRS. Even if it's just a matter of a change of address or anything, getting a letter from the IRS is, well, I won't use the words, but I'm happy to hear about the additional person as well. But
yeah,
that's certainly something that we really should be getting that message out more to people, that we've really got a good, strong team to deal with that. And,
yeah,
if you get that letter, you want somebody to help you, for sure.
Right.
Do you have any hands up there?
No hands up right now.
No.
So I
Okay.
guess
All right.
we've got more. We'll cover more.
I've got one more question, and maybe another one will come in, but I have one more question. Well, it's a very, again, this is an easy one. How long does it take to get a return processed? And then after that it says, I assume everything's filed electronically. So I could answer those, but you go ahead, sir.
Well, yeah, that's not a problem. Yes, we do file everything electronically unless we're prohibited by some reason, and there are still some returns and some circumstances on returns that IRS and or state will not allow electronic filing. So we have to prepare a return for mail-in filing. But our goal here is to turn this around within 48 hours, and that's a pretty tall order to do in a lot of cases, and oftentimes it's not possible, and it's usually because there is something missing from the information that the advisor submits, and so we have to chase down a lot of loose ends. But our goal is to turn it around in 48 hours, and that's and we're we have a really great track record. I'm really proud of our team because we do turn things around really fast. And of course some of our advisors are really responsible for part of that, because they really take to heart our direction of and showing them how to parse their information, looking for things that are clearly missing, so that they send through a work product that is as complete as it possibly can be, so that they get a quick turnaround. And that makes the advisor look good when we can do something on a quick turnaround. So 48 hours is the goal.
Yeah, and that happens as long as we have the information. And I'm absolutely amazed too at how the system works. We get the information and it's all there. Somebody processes the return, enters the information, and it's always a two-step process. There's one person preparing, putting the information in, and then there's always a CPA reviewing. And that's a huge statement because from my past experience in the business, you go to some of these other organizations that are just basically tax prep people, and there's not a CPA in the building. And oftentimes no one is even reviewing the return. A seasonal tax preparer is doing the work and entering it and filing it without any checks and balances. And we managed to pop it out in 48 hours if everything is there, with having 2 people look at it and approve it. And I think that's a big, big plus. And talk about having, you know, that comfort level, that peace of mind. It's being done professionally. Okay, I'm going to say this might be the last question.
Okay.
It's a good time to, yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, we can wrap it up. The question is, once we pay the annual subscription fee of $24.95, how do we make that money back? Can we charge? I'm trying to read this. Can we charge? I think it means can we upcharge the client? How do we make our money back?
Yeah.
I think you can answer that, Tom. There are different ways, and
that's a great question. And you know, there are 3 pricing models that we show in the training, as you know, and of course the only one that we really advocate is what we call the premium model. And this is where, you know, you can charge for this service any amount of money you want that you think your local market will bear. You know, so if you get a tax return from us and it costs $200 and you think that your client will pay $300, I'm okay with that. You can do that. There's nothing that prohibits you from doing it. And, you know, that difference, that markup is really intended for you to essentially offset the cost of, you know, the annual subscription plus, you know, any of the other marketing that you do. And we've even in one of our webinars, we show, you know, how if all you did, we show you how to take just 20 returns is the number, and show exactly how you can make enough money off of 20 returns to pay for the subscription and for the advertising. So what that leaves you with is no out-of-pocket cost to you effectively as the financial advisor, and the only thing you get out of it is profit, in that, you know, you've had, you know, 20, 30, whatever that number is, people who have come through your door. They are people that you're talking to now that you weren't talking to, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 months ago. You're now talking to them now, and so now you have an opportunity to sell to them from, you know, from this tax return that they've probably had done, or what maybe you did a second opinion report or whatever it is. So so there's plenty of room in, you know, in the market to upcharge our, you know, we don't control anything at all about what you charge to your client for the service. So you know, that's kind of your profit margin, and that's how you offset or completely eliminate, you know, the cost of the monthly subscription plus the advertising. So if you could get something like this essentially for free, you know, why wouldn't you do that? I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer to me, where we, you know, you pay the money, we show you how to do it, and, you know, in as little as 20 tax returns, you can break even and pay. So it's all those 20 leads have never cost you a dime, and the more you do,
right,
the more you do, the better it gets, you know. So why wouldn't you do that?
Well, and what I look at when I'm talking with prospective members to our group is that, you know, you can break even by upcharging on, you know, your tax prep fees, et cetera. But the big money is once you have that client's DNA in hand and you have more of a relationship with the client, there are more products that you see that they possibly could use. By return, you're seeing things that the client may not be thinking about. And one point came up in a call I was having with an advisor was that he pointed out that he deals with people who have businesses, and they have a real plan for retirement. They don't know the options, the direction, they the tax-based retirement plan. And he said he's gearing that, and hoping with you, Tom, after tax season, because he's be too busy, but after tax season, to come back and work with you and help people set up retirement plans, because they're that age. And I think that I have to mention that the profit is after return, in my opinion. But thank you. Yeah. And that is the end of what I have for questions. If there's anybody else wants to do a last-minute one, please toss it at us. And otherwise, Tom, I'll let you wrap up.
Okay, well, I appreciate everybody being on the call today, and we have really just concluded our our training for this season on our new batch of financial advisors. But if there's anybody on this call that wants to get in here, you have a very limited window to really get prepared and get going for this season. So I really encourage you to reach out to Linda and to get subscribed. And Linda, I wouldn't mind doing we can do a fast track training for a bunch of guys to get everybody ready for January 1st, because that's when, as you really need to be in your local media outlet advertising your service. And so we can still do that. So it's not too late, but time is growing short. And we'd really like to, I know, again, I've seen some of these names before, Linda. I've seen a lot of them. These are familiar names that have come and looked at this thing 3, 4, 5 times. So clearly, these guys are looking for something different. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep coming back and, kind of looking at this thing and kicking the tires and, trying to make a buy decision. So at any rate, if you were buying a new car and you could get a money-back guarantee on that car in a year's time, wouldn't that make your decision easy? So you'd sleep well at night on the day you made that decision. So anyway, so thanks to everybody for being on the call, and I don't see any hands going up here, Linda, so I think we can call this one a day, and I'll process the recording, and I'll get that up on our YouTube channel as quickly as I can. And then if anybody wants that, all they have to do is send an email to Linda, and we'll make sure you get a link to this broadcast. So, okay, anything you want to add before we sign off, Linda?
No, I think that's great. We will send out an email. I'll send an email with that link so people can do a replay. And also, don't hesitate to email me with any questions. You want to set up an appointment to chat, I'll be glad to do that. And also, if you want to get started at last minute with some training, we have everything recorded, and we can work with you to get you, up and started. So don't feel it's too late. We've got a few more weeks before tax season really goes crazy, so now's the time, and thank you so much for taking the time today. And have a wonderful holiday to everybody, and we'll be chatting in the near future.
Okay, I'll see you next week, Linda.
Okay,
all right.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye now.